LFY's turn to ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. LFY's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
A warm welcome back to the Perfect World Masters 2017. Obviously, the players are back in the booths and ready for their draft. In fact, the draft has already begun. You know, they obviously don't need as long a breaks as we forecasted. They can take an extended break after 2 in a best of 3, but these boys don't need it. They want to get back on with this game and get into game number 3. Gents, where are we going now?
Well, we see a DK ban out now instead of the Death Prophet, so Complexity switching things up a little bit. It's kind of nifty because it means that either they can take it first if they want themselves, or they can take some type of like burst damage hero, a tiny or something like that, and then that sort of puts them in a better position as well to deal with the Death Prophet later, if that does come up.
Yeah, the heroes that both teams have used with success in this series being shifted kind of in ban slot. Even something like a Razor, which some teams are able to pick early on, seems like an interesting. Not too bad of a lane answer occasionally against the Death Prophet as well. Just an overall pretty strong hero, who now, like, generally speaking, farms a little bit better, is a bit harder to kite, but still fits that mindset of being a lane dominator, someone that you can play with early.
Yeah.
Taking a lot of time here with this.
Crazy.
It's kind of trade-offs, right? If they go for that support first and backfight with your hero. What are the 2 picks that you're okay with giving up here?
LFY's reaction to that was pretty much what mine was. Huh?
I mean, it is an NA classic.
Yeah,
it's been
they just haven't used it very much here.
Yeah. I think the main time that we saw it was Puppy playing it.
Yeah.
In a couple of those drafts, particularly that one that was very interesting the other night. But I like it. It sort of fits the bill in some ways of trying to help out with the lanes. It can give you some pick-off potential as well in the mid-game. I just don't know if it really does enough. And I'm kind of concerned about like sort of being able to take towers and stuff. They're going to need to solve that through other areas, which is fine. The Witch Doctor pick is really good from LFY as well. It sort of fits within the beef factor, the Spirit Breaker, and then it's the answer again with the Maledict, which we've seen just destroy so many different heroes in this tournament.
Spirit Breaker just, even though the hero's been nerfed a little bit, and still just providing that early aggression across lanes. Again, they may decide that they don't really want to play into super strong static lanes or just static lanes in general against LFY. Again, I think this is something that LFY does very well and like clearly does a bit better than Complexity. So the Spirit Breaker can kind of throw that off balance. You can shift things around more easily. You can find ganks elsewhere. You don't have to really sit there and just keep the lane the way.
Early gyro this time.
It's really good against things like Spirit Breaker or those heroes in general that want to dive, particularly in the later stages. Because, you know, you dive too deep against this guy, he TPs in, or if he just stays in lane and somebody else TPs in to help him out, he can turn around a fight so quickly. So I think that these 2 picks from LFY are really strong opening. I like them a lot. It makes me like the Spirit Breaker even less, but I want to see what Complexity have, because I think that they have a plan, and it's going to evolve a little bit more as the draft goes on. So I'm tentatively optimistic about it for Complexity.
LFY
Gyro is one of those, probably one of the few cores now that you confidently take early on. As we see it's just so versatile, like independent, a relatively independent laner. So even if you can't protect him, you still can go ahead and farm or catch up. But if you have kill potential, you can leverage that as well. And obviously here that does kind of hybrid magical damage, at least early on. It also scales very well. His talents have only gotten better over time. So yeah, one of the few cores that could confidently take early on against just about anything. And there's the AA from Complexity, so there's already some heal and sustain on the side of LFY. But also, if you look at some of the heroes who haven't been banned, for instance, Death Prophet you mentioned, or the potential for more sustain to come out of LFY, it kind of discourages that from happening.
And these two heroes, I think, would deal well with either DP or a Dusa, whichever way LFY want to take it, because you just hone in on that one person, charge, you go for the ulti afterwards. What's this guy saying on his phone?
I didn't see that at all.
Okay. Crowd seemed to like it. But yeah, I like the complexity opening here. At least a little bit more now. More magical damage, blow somebody up. I am just a little bit concerned about how the lanes are going to go, because Jakiro, or rather Witch Doctor and Gyrocopter are both monsters.
There's still something that Complexity might consider banning. Again, with the Enchantress, we don't really want to fight into that as a Spirit Breaker or the AA. It's pretty hard to deal with those. It's more sustain on that front, but kind of as an answer to the AA, as a way to establish early lane dominance. I think if you match the Spirit Breaker's movements, or sometimes you get the initiative instead, because you can't really fight that well into.
10 seconds remaining.
Maybe a Batrider ban here with the Venge ban on LFY.
5
It's
seconds
been
remaining.
kind of a liability in the game 1, but game 2 Inflame looked very, very strong on that hero. But they decide that the Afu or Spirit is a little bit too scary.
Team pick.
Why wanted it this time potentially?
I'm not sure. I feel like that's more of an Afu hero than an Inflame hero, but I think either can still run it.
It's probably going to be Afu.
10 seconds remaining.
So a lot of control
remaining.
out for the supports of LFY. Some pretty good sustain, and early on they just have a lot of options. These two can move together if they want. The Sand King obviously known for kind of being a pace setter early on, and trades pretty well with the AA. Say at all, afraid of running at him. And then again, pretty good synergy also with the Gyrocopter to help close that gap early on. It has kill potential basically wherever. And not giving away too much.
I think that if they want to, they can aggro this as well against pretty much whatever complexity you do right now, because Spirit Breaker, I mean, I think he's strongest when he's moving around. Ancient Apparition, he's not as much of a liability as he used to be in a lane, and he can still be very strong, but they're going to take a Pugna. I feel like this is maybe either a limp or a moo Pugna. I don't think that they would run it safe lane for Chessie, but
Usually move.
God, I really like LFY's draft. I would be terrified if I'm Complexity right now. There's so much team fight. They can take objectives not great, but decently, because Tidehunter can just walk in them. I think their lanes are very strong.
5 seconds remaining.
It feels like Complexity is very all in on this heavy magical damage draft.
It doesn't feel like they have way too much that really holds the line. I don't see Pugna feeling very comfortable this game, being able to. It feels like he's going to get bursted down fairly quickly. Don't really have any save for him either. Lifestealer, again, something that can get on top of the Gyrocopter. Has some options early on to prevent from being bursted or controlled. And also fits the kind of mobility that they have with the Spirit Breaker as well.
Yeah, that is one nice part about this draft, is that if Complexity can get through the laning stage okay, those Infest bombs are going to be really hard to deal with an Ancient Apparition Ice Blast on top of them. But again, that's like a pick-off, and then afterwards, they still have a couple stuns they can throw back around them. They got Ravage that's there. All this stuff from LFY that's just very scary. So I think that they need something that's like a little bit more meaty of a backbone from Complexity.
I feel like they need a. Feel like they have to go with kind of another mobile snowballing type of mid here. Especially, it feels like they don't necessarily scale particularly well, not as well as LFY. And then for another lifestealer vehicle beyond the Spirit Breaker, I think they have a couple of options here. Talk about both spirits. I think Emperor Storm are possibilities.
Team banned.
Queen of Pain. But they're going to have to push the pace as usual. This is often how they want to play anyway.
I mean, the other thing they could do is they could go DP themselves. It's not terrible here. It does put them sort of on a clock again, but that's like the other answer is just sort of go all in for themselves.
5 seconds remaining.
No, I feel like they can almost random the last pick and they'd be in a really good position.
LFY's turn to pick.
Razor.
All right.
So there's the Razor. They want to in terms of lane matchups, they want to put them up against the Tide. They can probably try to put the Pugna up against the Gyro.
10
Usually
seconds
stay at a
remaining.
fairly safe distance, harass and just at least keep himself
5
alive in lane.
seconds remaining.
And I was wondering if Sniper was a potential super pickup here. The gap close, they do have to worry, of course, about the Spirit Breaker and or Lifestealer, but if he's able to get past that layer, it's very hard for them to be able to close onto the Sniper and kill him. So definitely have the tools to protect him, but having two relatively squishy cores, that's the way that LFY wants to go.
Is the Mirana an option?
It could be kind of cool. I like the Sniper a lot that Jack was talking about. Yeah.
Choose your hero.
So, Sniper final pick for LFY. All the picks are in. The bans are done. All the talking needs to end, but not before we hear from our two panelists. Jack, what are your thoughts on the draft?
I think Complexity has a window here, but I like, once again, like the synergy and the overall plan for the LFY heroes, and I'm going to have to, unfortunately, pick against any Dota yet again here in this Game 3 with LFY.
You're such a hater, Jack.
I'm sort of making that face because I feel like it's going to break my heart, but I think LFY has this too. I think it's going to depend a lot upon like how well they're able to get out of the laning stage, but I'm taking LFY.
Okay. LFY for the win as far as the panel members are concerned. A very strong draft from the Chinese team, of course, part of the legendary LGD organization. On the other side, they're facing Complexity, part of the Dallas Cowboys organization now. Who wins out of this one? NA versus China, Game 3, let's get it on.
When we started this series, it was a simple storyline of foreigners Complexity facing up against the Chinese, who have both top 3 teams here at the Perfect World Masters. But under the eye of a disapproving Chinese crowd, Complexity have turned it into a bit of a grudge match with their taunting and winning game number 1. LFY, after slapping that back down in game 2, now have an opportunity to make Complexity eat their taunts. William, looking into this game, you feeling the Sniper, Tide Hunter, Gyrocopter? I mean, this is looking to me like LFY are just going to run stock standard for the tournament, and Complexity are struggling to be able to find a unique draft that can take it to LFY.
Yeah, I think that the Lifestealer Razor is their answer to the Tide Hunter. A lot of teams so far have been looking for an answer to that hero. Of course, the AA is pretty good against it, but I think that KP is just going to get Pipe instead of going for the Greaves first, and maybe still just run them over. Because this hero is absolutely beast. The Tide so far in this series, 2-0.
Yeah, he has done a lot of work.
Wait, it's 1-0. It's 1-0. I was thinking of the newbie series.
Yes. AP was able to win that one
The
for
hero just doesn't
newbie.
lose.
He certainly doesn't. You have to wonder if Complexity can actually deal with the hero. Now, Complexity are going to try and do a tricky maneuver here. Z-Freak coL and Moo, their aggro trine lane of sorts, is going to wrap around behind, and they are going to run into Afu here. Now, looks like they should be able to get a lot of damage onto him almost immediately, but he does have the burrow strike out. They're going to try and charge and pursue, see if they can get this first blood. Looks like with a little bit of body blocking, they are able to knock it down. coL gets the first blood, and now Complexity can keep on moving forward. See if they can take on the rest of these heroes, but it's another 3 with Monet backing him up. They're going to be able to get Zfreak on the back lines already with an early level of Rocket Barrage. Monet wants to make sure that they do get vengeance for their fallen comrade. coL challenging Super all the way back to that mid tower. Has to give up on pursuit, while Moo, what was he doing underneath that tier 1 tower? Looks like he was forced to make a... Oh yeah, he is. He actually started backing up, then went for the charge. It looks like he's doing everything he possibly can to give the Limp a good start to this 1v1 matchup.
Yeah, well worth it for Complexity, as they waste a lot of time.
And Rocket Barrage being leveled. We got to mention that for the Monet Gyrocopter. Looks like they're going to catch Super here. He's going to be forced into using shrapnels, and Afu is going to have to come in behind to make sure Limp can't go for the dive. One damage? Is that really what it is?
You know how hard it is to last hit?
What damage?
You got to be real precise.
Yep, 48 minus 47.
He's still trying.
He's like, maybe I can do it. Look at that. Oh, he got it. Oh no, he ran out.
Yeah,
Sadly, ran out.
That would have been
the most hyped thing of the whole entire tournament.
If Super somehow timed that,
1 damage.
he would have been the best player.
All right, so what are our lanes? We're going to have a trine lane, or the dual lane, rather, of Pugna, Ancient Apparition versus Gyrocopter, Witch Doctor. So a ranged-on-range battle full of spellcasters on both sides. We're going to have the Lifestealer against the Tidehunter at the bottom lane. And then we know that the Razor Sniper is the mid matchup with the roaming heroes of the Sand King and Spirit Breaker on either side.
Yeah, this time Limp was merciful and left him with 15. It's like some kind of crazy last hit trainer that you've got to practice against, but this time around I think the lane matchups are a lot better for Complexity.
Yeah.
They have 3 heroes that could conceivably win their lanes. The Pugna, of course, will just be successful overall. And at the same time, they have better supports that can scale. Like their supports scale very nicely. The Spirit Breaker is going to be pretty beastly in this game. It's hard to stop him. I think it's one of the better counters to Sniper in the game, if not the best.
Chessie is having one hell of a time right now. Inflame is beating some booty. He just keeps on getting there with the anchor smash, and Chessie is struggling. He's completely out of Tango regen now. Oh, poor Super. See you later, buddy.
They're
actually going to keep chasing until the shrapnel is forced. That's what they keep on doing. Every single shrapnel charge is used. It kills it. Now they're still going to go for this dive here with a nuke. They are going to be able to bring him low enough to finish him off. Limp able to get that kill. Now coL, he takes a little bit of tower shots down to half HP, but I really don't think Afu is going to be enough. He does have a charge coming up. See if Afu can actually time this burrow strike maybe as the charge goes out. coL, they're going to be able to stun him with a paralyzing cast, follow it up with the burrow strike. The charge is coming up with the Maledict's on him. They might still be able to finish him off. He tried to go for a neutral deny, stopped himself in the neutrals, but they were still stunned from the charge back. And they do manage to get a kill in return. But again, it is favorable to Complexity. They're okay with these 1-for-1 trade-offs because they're always the one getting the better bounty.
Yeah, and this is the upside about playing against Sniper as Spirit Breaker, because once the Lifestealer hits level 6, this is going to be even easier for them to accomplish this. At bottom, the charge is coming on.
Okay, now apparently it's Chessie's time to see if he can pressure the Tidehunter. Look at him just doing no damage whatsoever. The charge is going to complete from coL. He's going to get a bit more onto that Tidehunter. But, top lane, they actually kill Moo.
Surprising, as now coL is just battling, gets 1 bash against Afu. As this Tidehunter now has a bottle, buys it at the side shop. Forgot about that change.
Yeah. Oh, that'll really help out Inflame, especially since he seems to have full control of the bounty roads. Oh, Witch Doctor's going to be caught here, but here comes Monet, able to start running down Moo, and he's got the Maledict as well as the missile running him down. There's no way he survives. It's the missile that takes the kill. They thought they had a trap on the Witch Doctor, but actually turns the other way around. Zfreak's not even able to get that rune against DDC.
They make another attempt at bottom.
And look at Monet. He's coming in. The Rocket Barrage, the early levels, it is getting so many kills. The Paralyzing Pass going to stop that TP out. Zfreak tries to turn and get the kill on DDC. Monet leaving him last just a little bit. Finishes off that kill. 5-2 now for LFY. As soon as we start saying that complexity. We're getting the better of these trade-offs. So when it was 2 for 2, LFY get a quick 3 kills. Now they're going to bring Moo to the bottom lane here. But his Tidehunter, he is so damn tanky, and he's got Apu here as well. Ready to go with the Burst Strike, turns around, goes for the stun on the Moo, but he already got the nuke out.
They want more.
And Chessie is able to get that kill. With the Burst Strike on cooldown, they might be able to kill Apu as well. 3 more seconds. Maybe he can get out of here. He's trying to position himself on the cliff so he can Burst Strike down, but is unable to, as coL does get the control in with the charge.
Yeah, now they're going to shrine up, maybe swap out lanes a little bit, as this gyrocopter has gone largely uncontested up in this top lane. The XP is still pretty good for complexity, and that's going to help Moo's game out a lot. The fact that they were able to nab that kill. But this bottom lane, this Tidehunter, it's such an investment trying to kill him every time.
So now that the gyrocopter is too tough to deal with about Pugna lane, and same kind of goes with its Tidehunter versus the Lifestealer, complexity are going to try and get the more favorable matchups later on to the laning phase.
And right now, Monet getting charged from halfway across the map. Z-Freak trying to set up for this. He's got 2 levels of the cold feet. Chessie immediately going to start
down
to go.
with the open wounds. He turns around, gets the missile onto Z-Freak, but they've already got so much damage to the charge about ready to complete, and the cold feet ready to proc. And he charges through DDC as well. This is looking like a potential for an opening kill on DDC as well, but the paralyzing cast actually controls them well enough. So they're just going to have to content themselves with the kill on Monet, and I'm sure they're not going to be too disappointed with that whatsoever. 6-minute rune. Oh, Burrow Strike, and snatch that one away from Limp. Afu's actually going to see if he can force Limp. Oh, we actually managed to purge off that haste rune, but now Limp's going to be caught. Didn't expect a rotation from DDC. Limp in big time trouble, is definitely going down under the rain of shrapnel.
Very nice kill for them. Very important one too, is Limp. Try to commit for that, and you do a lot of damage, but at the same time, that's 3 heroes there. DDC with an excellent rotation.
Well done by Afu to bait that out as well.
DDC has been an absolute boss this game. Already 2-0-4, been a part of all 6 kills on his team side. And now they're going to rotate the Tide over. Running up top, trying to get another favorable matchup again. He really wants to pair against this Lifestealer, which means, of course, Chessie just on his way down bottom.
So is he running top, so if they do switch it up on him, like they are, he can just TP down the bottom lane?
That's the idea behind this. Is,
okay.
He wants to be able to fight against the Lifestealer, who is just sitting bottom right now. Chessie's been moved around the map quite a bit. Doesn't have a lot of farm on him. As the gyrocopter
setting up for the kill onto Chessie, see if they can get a surprise pick. Maybe the homing missile forces out the rage and then they can get the kill afterwards, but instead they see an easier opportunity. Z-Freak, he's certainly easy. If they can get the Burrow Strike, paralyzing cast, follow it up. Monet's actually not helping out with the kill. With the flat cannon shots, I guess he kind of is. Afu is able to claim that kill, but in mid lane, even more important, the sniper dies once again, and Limp, it does it just as the push comes in from the Siege Wagon too, so they're going to be able to get good damage on that tier 1. Moo takes a lot from Inflame, who's really challenging this Pugna, despite it being a lane that Moo kind of wanted to have. He's still suffering.
Yeah, the level of difference is just enormous right now between the two. If you check Inflame, level 7, Moo
level 4.
Yes, that is incredibly significant. As if he was 6, he would just be able to spam him out with the life drain, but unable to do so. And anytime they make a maneuver, it looks like LFY, they can't really protect their mid laner, as he's going to get charged again.
He does deny that Invis rune. Pal's going to give up on the chase there onto the sniper, now that he's behind the tower. And a smoke up, ooh, a smoke up, bringing Monet, an early use of the gyrocopter here to see if they can offset what has been a very tough mid lane for Super.
But Limp, they need to catch him on the low ground here. They're going to start running up into phase boots.
Paralyzing cast a little bit too far away. They're going to have to dive in far too deep for a Razor kill. There's no way they can pursue. So miss out on that one. What a big kill though for Inflame. Pop the Ravage for that one. Ends up bringing down the Pugna before he can get that crucial level 6.
And the level advantage up at top, again proving to be way too much right now. The Pugna doesn't really have a game right now. It's almost 9 minutes in, and he hasn't been able to rotate around the map, as coL just going to charge out immediately.
Oh, he's going to get the Burrow Strike onto him. Look on Lifestealer running away. Says, see you later, coL. Can't help you with that one.
coL goes down, has created all the space on his team, been a part of all 6 kills so far, but LFY are matching their pace perfectly. I would like to see them focus a little bit more on this mid area. They did try that one time, but it felt like such a sloppy gank attempt. They went from the front.
What about this Rocket Barrage build from the gyrocopter? It does seem like it's paying off big dividends. It's 4-1-2 right now.
It doesn't allow you to farm as much, but because you're committing heavier.
Oh, the Burrow Strike turnaround stun. They're going to bring Chessie super low. Now, he does have the Infest, and he's fighting into Afu as best as possible. Does get the pop out, but he still has a Maledict on him, and looks like they did manage to finish him off. DDC is the one to claim the kill. Kyle's trying to hide in the trees for as long as possible. 2 more seconds until his charge is back up. He's going to run into the tower to make sure he stays away from the stuns, but Afu is in position. No! Missed the Burrow Strike barely, and Kyle is going to be able to get out as a result. Inflame dropped dangerously low at top lane now that the Pugna has that life drain. It's a lot harder lane for him to deal with. Look at the magic damages coming in. They are going to be able to burst him down. A huge turnaround from Moo. He desperately needed that one, but Z-Freak's in trouble. Oh, but the charge is here on his super. He's going to go for the TP out. Paralyzing Cast going to stall that damage. Looks it might be enough. He's going to get this kill. Try and chase down DDC with Kyle there on the other side. There's no way DDC makes it out. Just steal more. Just let him linger a little bit longer so you can steal as much damage as possible.
Yeah, and he's even going to TP down immediately to bottom to force out this gyrocopter from hitting his tower, protecting that area. Very well done by Limp as Kyle sandwiches that Witch Doctor.
You know, true to Complexity's style, they've always been kind of good at pushing, but one thing I've noticed, one little small thing about the landing phase, they're super good at pushing around those siege wagon spawns.
Yeah, that's definitely a timing for them. It's the same thing for LFY though.
Yeah.
What you just pointed out, look at Super in mid right now. He's auto-attacking the creep wave, making sure that he gets some free hits as the charge is going to come onto mid.
And that puts him a little bit too far forward perhaps, but never mind that. Looks like Z-Freak didn't feel comfortable taking that kill, and doesn't have the level 6 anyway. A smoke up, it actually hit Super as well, so they're going to bring him down to the bottom lane, it looks like.
And Limp is down here. That is definitely the preferred target. They might just find Moo, though. They ping him out. They see him in the river. Moo, get to the high ground.
He might be okay if this smoke pops in the right area, and that's why LFY are holding the left-hand side here, making sure they get to the high ground first. The Ice Blast coming in. They're going to go for the Gyrocopter, but it may be an inopportune time. They pull him up anyway. Looks like they managed to hold the Razor underneath the Tier 1 tower, though. Afu's going to make sure they get that kill as well as the turnaround on to Moo. So they lost the Gyrocopter, who's been highest net worth for a while now for LFY, but probably worth it as they get 2 cores in return.
Yeah, that's not even like Complexity get anything out of that, as the top lane is still this Tidehunter who doesn't care about anything right now in the game. His life is just sit there.
Sit there and be a bother.
Yeah, sit on the lanes. AA though, very nice Ice Blast as he fires off another one towards this top area.
Okay, but can they actually get a kill with just the Lifestealer? Maybe not, that's why they're bringing the Razor here, but the Ice Blast.
They still have vision
Early
of
detection system.
I don't think you want to commit for this.
Yeah, Super's here with the invis. They're going to try and turn things around. As soon as the Raptor goes down, a 3-man Raptor down with the trap. No over top. They immediately turn. They see the opportunity to get the kill on Super, and they've got him dead. Kyle forced to back up. Looks like the Lifestealer jumps inside the Razor, so it's just a question of whether or not Kyle can get out with a charge away. He's good. Whoa, but they actually still managed to get the jump. Hold up. Z-Freak, they managed to kill Monet, and Afu dangerously low. Oh no, he got the epicenter up, but it doesn't do a damn difference. As Chessie now was raised up, ignores all that damage. They got the Maledict onto him. So Chessie, he's got to play careful around this one. He's going to be stunned up with the Anchor Smash on him as well. He might take out from the Maledict. Limp is going to drain a lot of damage off the DDC, and Chessie just got the rage off in time. Maledict's not going to do the damage necessary. Inflame's dead as well. The damage is too much. Limp is able to bring him down, and all of Complexity escape from that dangerous predicament they were in, and even better, turn it to their favor, bringing down 4 of LFY.
And you could hear the crowd. They got so excited. They thought that was going to be the perfect opportunity for LFY. They thought the turn potential was there, but Complexity just completely outplayed them right in front of their shrine area as well.
Look at how fast Kyle turns on a dime. As soon as Super reveals himself, he goes for the ultimate on Super, bumps him back into Chessie, and then from there, he's far enough away from the Tidehunter, he doesn't take any extra damage. He only took 1 more Anchor Smash and was able to charge himself away, and you could see the turnaround. They focused too much on Kyle, so the Razor and Chessie's Lifestealer come back into play.
Amazingly well played by Complexity, who just a moment ago were down by 1,000 gold. Now they've taken that, wrested it out of their hands. 2K in favor for Complexity right now as another kill.
Big kill. That is bringing down the Tidehunter, who is having such a good game in these side lanes.
The Pugna is so good against him. He can't shrug that damage off. Combined with the AA, you don't really care about the Kraken Shell damage. And this might just be the counter for Complexity.
Moo, I mean, he wasn't even in that top fight, and he was pushing down this bottom tower. It's almost dead now. Yes. So that 2K gold lead is going to rapidly turn into a 3 or 4K gold lead as the towers stop dropping. LFY have to find a way to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, and it's scary for them right now because their sniper's always susceptible to these ganks. You see how quickly he dies. As soon as he gets charged, there's almost nothing that can save him on the side of LFY. They had a Ravage down, and coL just immediately pops the ulti on him. He goes down without a hitch as Dire scan. They're looking for something. They've got the combo that they wanted. The Spirit Breaker with the Lifestealer infested in him. They're trying to find something right now. Super would be the ideal target.
Oh, yeah, he is actually spotted out by this ward. If they coordinate this, they can bring him down, but they're going to give up on it. They actually really want to go to top lane. You said, let's go for Super, and instead they're going to go for Monet. Instead, they're going to be able to jump him off. Afu comes in with a 2-man burst strike, but Lifestealer is raged up, still leaving damage onto Monet. He does get off an ultimate. Maybe Afu with the epicenter and the missile landing on the Razor can get the kill on Lip. He's trying to finish him off, and it looks like it's just enough with the Maldic. Looking like coL's going to drop as well. DDC with a double kill. Now they turn to fight up against Complexity, who are forced back into their tier 1 tower. That engagement not going the way they planned.
Very well done by LFY. Afu leaves that to no chance at all, drops the epicenter in front of the face of the Razor. Doesn't give him any breathing room as Complexity make their first major error of this game, and LFY will capitalize. They're immediately heading to top lane, throws the gush onto that, but Super has rotated, and this is how Super has to play. Whenever there's a wand fight, he immediately comes in for the transition push. That's where he's going to be most useful as Moo.
A long Ice Blast is coming in.
The charge, they don't want to give up on this.
The Ice Blast is not going to land on anybody. Super will TP to mid. And Z-Freak will TP out from bottom lane.
Yeah, very well done as LFY. They lose nothing in that engagement. And these teams, they look so evenly matched right now.
They really do. Look at this. The Afu stun, Burrow Strike onto the 2, so it doesn't matter. They just can't kill Monet fast enough. He gets off that ultimate with the homing missile. Afu sees that opportunity to do an epicenter right on top of Lin.
Yeah, and DDC absolutely beats that fight. A sniper trying his hardest to catch back up into the game. We haven't seen his impact quite yet. Barely has net worth above the Pugna. But conversely, Lifestealer, he needs more of these successful ganks without dying to be able to catch up. And they need to carry Dust.
Yeah.
There's been too many opportunities for the Sand King to just simply lay in Sandstorm, and they haven't found the counter to that quite yet.
Saw in that last engagement, Chessie's damage was just not good enough against that gyrocopter. Not able to kill him fast enough to prevent the turnaround here. Monet is going to be able to start clearing through Ancient stacks, and that is one thing, right? Is that Complexity's lineup, they play pretty fast, and they're going to play pretty mobile, but they do not do well with static downtime. They don't farm the Ancient stacks the same way that LFY can between their double Mask of Madness range heroes.
Yeah, but they've got to still be really careful because this Tide Ravage does a little bit too much, so they're not trying to force the pressure of the game. Right now, they're trying to be somewhat passive and split the map a little bit so that LFY don't get these ideal fights. Because at some point you expect the charge with the Lifestealer in it. Anytime that happens, you take a fight as LFY, they're smoked up, they're headed towards bottom, but I don't think Limp has any intention of staying here, or does he? He comes back in. Once he sees Inflame, might be a little bit more hesitant here.
Oh no, he's going to go forward thinking it's just going to be an Inflame, but instead it's going to be caught by Afu's Blink Dagger. They are able to get that kill, but at the same time, Monet is found farming up the Ancients. coL and Z-Freak, the two brothers, are able to get that kill. Chessie is moving forward. He's got an armlet. He still needs more, though.
Yeah, and they're just trading blow for blow. They lose their carry, they take their carry. The Razor obviously being the much more valuable target right now with the added net worth that he's got. And Super, every time he's a part of that successful fight, he just builds that net worth.
Goes for the Ravage attempt. It's not even needed. They're just going to go for the Blink Burrow Strike again. Moo in big-time trouble, brought down. The assassin of Super. The sniper is able to get that kill.
And they're just getting sloppy right now. These are free attempts for LFY. It's not even like they're blowing the Ravage. The Blink Dagger from Afu has completely changed the direction of this game.
And what was once a 3K gold lead for Complexity is now dwindling to just above 1,000.
Yeah, and this is the downside. Sometimes Complexity, when they play this split style, they're really susceptible to just getting ganked around the map, and we're seeing that right now as coL lying in wait bottom as Afu. He's circling the map. He's telling his team this is where they are, trying to force people down here. Afu, though, is very patient.
Gonna go, if he actually spots this, oh, he's actually gonna be the one spotted here, the Ice Vortex, and doesn't get charged, plus his team is backing him up, and they've got a Shrine there.
Yeah, they've got Ward Vision at the same time, and Limp just trying to get his BKB, which is going to be very good against his team. Almost entirely magic damage based.
You could see LFY, I mean, their warding is just based all around their own jungle area, knowing that Complexity want to be able to invade and want to be able to get control over those ancient areas.
Yeah, they're trying to use their aggression against them as in mid, Chessie.
Okay, gets out of the dragon, goes for the TP out. It's going to be close, but it looks like he should be good. Physical damage is just not there yet.
That scared me for a second. I was like, Chessie. If he
Farming up
was
as
able
a
to find,
dragon.
if Afu was able to find the timing on that, imagine.
Yeah. And as a result, the tier 2 tower does take a lot of damage.
It's almost down. I think he
Should
goes
be
for the
denied.
deny. Yeah. You don't allow the Pugna to just blast it for free, I think. But another landmark for Complexity. Extends their gold lead by 2k. LFY, though, they want to look for a fight right now. They're under the ward, though. Certainly don't know that. And game resets a little bit as they're trying to allow Limp to get this BKB. And I think with the next BKB, they take a fight again.
I like this choice of the Force Staff for the Tidehunter. Not completing the pipe just yet. I'm sure he will think about picking it up later, but the Force Staff will really help breaking the static link with the Razor, as well as getting some of his allies or himself away from the Open Wounds Lifestealer focus.
I think it's for the sniper mainly.
Yeah.
The name of the game for LFY, if they don't want to just play the high ground game, is defend our sniper. Keep him alive at all costs. And the initial burst from Complexity is very high. When you get the charge off on the sniper, if you can force Kyle to have to commit even further, that's usually going to be a dead Kyle.
Yeah.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Here 1 mid. Complexity should not want to give this one up, but how do they fight into a sniper poking at it with a Tidehunter by his side, ready to go with a Ravage?
I don't think they want to fight without the Razor BKB, not when it's this close. They fire off the Ice Blast, which usually tells you if they're not setting up for it, this is,
Yeah.
it's a fake move.
And that BKB is just 375 gold away, so.
And it's absolutely massive. If he grabs it, a lot of Monet's damage goes away, because it is buried in the Rocket Barrage and the Call Down in this early game, and the Missile.
And how they, so I mean, he'll just like run at the sniper. He's going to be magic immune, he's going to be super fast, and they don't have any abilities to go through that.
Yeah, that's why they just need a bunch of Force Staffs on the side of LFY.
Yeah.
Like, if LFY completes 3 or 4 Force Staffs, it's going to be incredibly hard for Complexity to fight them.
I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Kyle gonna run through. He should get spotted here, and he's in pretty dangerous territory. All of LFY sandwiching him right now.
He's next to the shrine, but just outside of it, and it looks like Limp is going to give up on Kyle. He goes for the charge out, not able to make it alive.
Oh, this is a little bit greedy. He's farming right next to them, but understands that they won't continue to go up into that shrine area. Really wants his BKB now. That gold lead, it's nearly even now.
17 to 17. It was a stomp game 1 by Complexity. LFY returned the favor in game 2. And now, in our final game of this series, both teams going blow for blow. Looks like Moo is attempting to hit that tier 1 tower a little bit more, but he might just spot a trap off Moo. He doesn't complete the TP, comes in, but Moo can maybe turn it around. There comes the assassinate proc though. Moo trying to live drain off of this one, staying alive ever so barely, but it's not enough. The damage is too much. Finally, he does get brought down.
And I don't feel like he should be trying to make these kinds of plays. It swings things a little bit too much, especially in the mid game. The momentum matters so much.
Completely unnecessary,
yeah,
right?
The blast is going to get spotted. Like, LFY is going to hear the danger sounds. They know that the tower is being taken. Eventually, that mid tower will fall. Complexity is getting a little bit too desperate, and it feels as though that's just like the 5th kill in a row that they ripped off for free. There is a BKB completed on Limp. There's a Deso completed on this Lifestealer. You want to try to get something as Monet up at top. Kyle's very nearby.
Lifestealer. See if their burst damage is enough, because now that gyrocopter is quite tanky. He can Manta out of the open wounds. He's got 1600 HP. This is not the same kill that it used to be.
Yeah, the Ancient Apparition is going to fire the Ice Blast up at top, and Monet now going to show himself, but unfortunately for Complexity, they all started running away from that as Kyle now going to make his presence known in mid. He's going to get pinged out. Will they know about this, though?
So if I'm LFY, the way I'm getting this is that we're really happy with the pace of the game.
Yes.
Right, we've protected our towers. We've kept that mid-tier 1 tower alive for a very long time. So for them, the status quo was good. Complexity are the ones who have to change things up. What does Complexity do, though, to be able to give themselves an edge against LFY?
I feel like they can get into a 5-on-5 engagement, which is what they're looking for right now. They're trying to connect to the rest of their team, which is this Razor. and
Minions are scanning.
they actually scanned him out. They think that this might be a Roshan. They're going to start moving over. Monet going to get spotted by this ward in this mid area. You don't want to overcommit for this. His move with that black, he's going to reveal his own presence.
Is under attack.
And I don't think Complexity want to dive under this tower like this.
Yeah, it's a bit too dangerous. And then maybe that's why Mu felt so pressured to try and take that tier 1 tower. Finally, they do throw a shrapnel inside the pit. Knowing Complexity was around, thought maybe they were trying to sneak one over on LFY, but that's not the case. And this whole entire time, we're looking at a Lifestealer inside of a Spirit Breaker who has done 0 farming time. So this is a good 90 seconds, if not more, that has been lost to this Lifestealer since Complexity have failed to be able to find a successful team fight.
This is a really significant investment right now. Like, he hasn't moved from this area whatsoever. He's just been stuck inside his Spirit Breaker. And I think Complexity is getting a little bit desperate. When you give up a few of those kills, it feels like the momentum is just completely in the other swing of things.
If they actually let Monet get a BKB too.
Yeah.
And that level 20 talent, the movement speed, that'll allow him to be able to keep up with the Razor and even surpass the Lifestealer in his movement speed. This is pretty concerning.
Right now, LFY are really showing their strength as a team. It feels like when LFY shows on the map, they're getting kills.
Yeah.
And conversely, when it feels like Complexity is looking for kills, they're just getting shut out while LFY
They see
farms.
Mu right now.
Yeah.
They see Mu. They're hoping to be able to get this kill now. Mu does not push out into the creep wave there. It's a good thing too, LFY. They show themselves pushing in, hitting this bottom tier 1 tower, maybe obliging to Complexity and taking a 5-on-5 in these straight up situations where they've got the big old Ravage Tidehunter in front.
Yeah.
They're okay with it.
And look at mid. Like, this tower most likely going to get taken at some point anyways. That commit.
Oh, here comes the epicenter Ravage. They're going to try and go for Chessie, see if they can burst him down. Inflame pops the Ravage as well. A little bit too late. The Ravage goes down from Chessie, and he's able to jump inside a creep. They
Very
finish
nice.
off the tower as well.
The epicenter was expended, so was the Ravage. The creep is in perfect position. Chessie should be just fine. The timing just a little bit too late. The new Ravage is so slow.
It really is. Not actually coordinating for that Ravage travel time that it takes now.
Yeah, and you look at Limp's talent. He also goes for the move speed because he understands that the kite is going to be what hurts him the most. He knows that the gyrocopter will eventually go for his own move speed talent, so he needs to be able to keep up.
Yeah,
Runs it nearly haste.
Most Razors usually opting for the damage increase from Static Link.
A gem completed by Sand King.
Now, do you think that kiting is so important that that plate mail is going to build into a Shiva's?
For who?
For our Razor.
For the Razor? I think AC has more value in this game.
Okay.
He needs the attack speed. Like, they need to... The initial burst and complexity is really important because of the Force Staff game. If I'm looking at them, they don't have any Force Staffs on their side. So after the initial charge in, they lose a lot of their momentum. Like, they're going to be chasing after LFY heroes, which allows LFY to just play the hit and run game. And complexity, they should smoke right now.
This is a very important item that they just got. They have the Ether Lens and now Aghanim Scepter complete for the Pugna. If you've ever played with a Pugna, you know how important it is to be able to have that constant life drain available to you.
I think they should just try to force this fight.
Limp is going to run in first. He's going to spot out some of these heroes and start going for the Static Link onto the Tidehunter. Managed to keep the latch in. Here comes a charge from Complexity, but
no.
LFY, they're all grouped up around that tier 2, and a BKB was popped by Limp.
The Tidehunter just force-staffs him away. He thinks that the charge is going to complete. Just miscommunication, and I think they've missed their timing window, as in 30 seconds, Inflame. He's going to have his Ravage up, and...
They just go for the tier 2?
Yes.
Roshan?
That was really well done, by the way,
yeah.
by LFY. They understood their timings. They said, we wasted a lot of our spells. They're going to try to look for a fight. This is clear as day. Let's just wait by this tier 2. Farm is not worth it in a situation like that. You don't risk that farm, because the team fight matters more.
I mean, that was also got to be a mistake from Complexity, right? The Razor putting himself on the front lines rather than having the hard disabler.
It was just awkward because they wanted to really force that engagement, and they felt that somebody from LFY might pop out.
Yeah.
But everybody from LFY, in this tight ball, they're not really concerned about the initiation, because if you look at how the fight starts, the only way that Complexity starts the fight is through the Spirit Breaker charge. They don't have a Blink Dagger. Kyle, gonna charge out. But not easy for them to take these engagements. And as this game goes later and later, more Force Staffs, start to come on the side of LFY, their lineup's just going to get better and better.
And Lim recognizing that, saying this game is actually going on too late, he picks up his level 20 talent, which is the armor, and then in turn goes ahead and tries to build towards a Hurricane Pike, it looks like. Force Staff first, just in his mind, Force Staff is going to counter him too highly, so he might as well have one of his own.
Yeah. What happened to his plate mail?
He decided against it. Yeah, he was just holding it in the quick buy. He didn't actually buy it yet.
I see. Okay, and it is going to be the AC for the Lifestealer instead, as in mid lane, the Ancient Creep is out here. They're going to try to time this
a
again.
very dead creep, and they get him, manage where they get the burrow, but he still has the rage up, goes to the TP out, the physical damage coming in close, and a sniper actually is the one to stop it. With the assassinate, they stop the TP and immediately head to Roshan.
Oh man, he tried it the first time, but this time LFI were completely prepared. Super, instead of going for the right click, goes to the cancel onto the assassinate, knows that it pierces the spell immunity. Very well done as the AA Ice Blast comes in, but I think LFI is going to commit to it anyways.
Yeah, they know. They're just too strong with the Lifestealer. They're not there. Complexity. No real way to be able to fight this one.
This game looks so promising for Complexity in the early mid-game.
Razor's going to try and... No. I thought maybe he was going to poke at it.
It feels like it's been like 8 straight kills on the side of LFI. Since the mid-game, it feels like they haven't been touched whatsoever. Their clean play has just elevated them so far. 2K ahead now.
The last time they got a kill was around that 18-minute marker when they managed to kill Monet.
It was nearly 5K in favor of coL.
Yeah.
And the XP goes the same way, and they just started feeding kills away. This would have been a huge upset. It can still happen, but...
It's getting harder and harder every minute that passes.
Yeah. LFI are not rattled at all. Even with the early game going so poorly, they kind of compose themselves, and it feels like Complexity falling apart a little bit. One fight could turn things around for them, but with the Aegis in hand, I'm not sure they want to take it.
Are done to Monet. They know the Tidehunter's at bottom lane, but they just can't catch these heroes fast enough.
And look, with War Division, they spot him the entire way through. It's so hard for them to take any sort of engagement because they don't have a stun follow-up. They've got one stun on this team, and it comes in the form of a Spear Breaker.
Yeah.
You get BKBs and Force Staffs, that becomes nearly impossible for him to complete.
I think we were talking about this when we were casting the North American region together. Spear Breaker was so highly valued at that time, but when Spear Breaker is your only form of initiation, Force Staff's coming in, it just looks like a loss every single time.
Yeah, what was it, the Navi
He is super far forward. LFY are trying to get around. They are going to be able to get behind his tier 2. Start going for Moo immediately with Assassinate. Moo, it takes a lot of extra damage off that one. Will end up going down. Lim takes a lot of damage away from Monet, but the Death Ward's going to be able to chase him away. They actually go for the kill on Monet still. Chessie trying to finish him off, but he's going to be kited around. Got him. Monet's actually stuffing against Clip. They're going to be able to finish him off. The Ravage is mid-time. It doesn't hit Chessie, but they're still slowing him down. He starts going for the kill on the Super. Moves to help out. He starts life draining away, and there goes the Aegis. The Epicenter doesn't do a whole lot, and they're fighting around the shrine now. LFY in flame. He's dropping low. Now the Super. He's back online in the low ground. Doesn't matter. An ultra kill for him. He goes for Deep Freak as well. Almost able to finish him off. Looks like do get him down. Lim is able to run himself away. Chessie with a buyback. Does manage to get one kill. They're looking for Super. He managed to Force Staff over the cliff, and coL couldn't complete the Nether Strike. That was such a necessity for Complexity to be able to get that extra kill onto Super. They fought back on 3 heroes and only got 3 kills for LFY.
They committed so heavily for that fight. All they were able to grab was the Aegis and the Gyrocopter. The Witch Doctor is an afterthought. I mean, this game has completely been blown open as LFY now with a 7K lead. They didn't even grab the tower. That gold lead just stems from the buybacks. As we see here in the fight, Limp goes in a little bit too early in the back line. It's such an awkward initiation for Complexity every time.
So uncoordinated. I mean, you saw the way that the Razor ran away as coL and Chessie go for the charge in. I mean, I can at least say that maybe Moo and his positioning, like maybe that was intentional in a way because they wanted to go for a buyback fight, but every other part of that fight definitely was so uncoordinated from Complexity.
Yeah, you can feel them. They know that the game is slipping away from them.
Yeah.
They're starting to make these desperation plays. Communication becomes a little bit more awkward. The gameplay is just a little bit less tight.
Look, it's Super. With the Mjolnir, Mask of Madness, he is laying in the damage, attacking so fast. Now he's got the knockback distance as well. With that kind of attack speed, You're really going to struggle to stay on top of that sniper if you can even get there in the first place. And that's the problem we're seeing in a lot of these fights where LFY with Monet and Inflame on the front lines, Super is able to just play the back and start out all with an assassinate most of the time.
I'm not sure if enough time has passed. Like, I don't know how Complexity wins this game anymore. Not to ruin things or upset their fans, but it just feels so impossible. If they lose this fight, they don't have any buybacks.
Complexity's just going to keep on trying to force it. The homing missile is on the limb, forcing out the BKB. They go ahead, and they do manage to lock down Super inside the tree. Trying to go for the force out, but they hit him with another strike and the Ice Flash as well. Limp is challenging Monet, taking away all of his damage, so he's going to be completely negated. Complexity is now just a grab back. See how many heroes they can go ahead and pick up here. The homing missile is going to be able to slow down Limp, but maybe they can still catch Inflame. Kyle is actually going to go for the charge. Not onto Inflame, but he's actually onto Monet. He's going to have to give up on that one. The Ravage blown by the Inflame, and actually still going to die as Chessie with the rage, dodges the stun, and still manages to get the kill. Complexity, you said they were on the knife's edge right now. They lose that fight, they are pretty much guaranteed out of this game, and they managed to pull out a win, killing 3 for nothing there.
Desperation play, but it works. They finally managed to grab Super. The positioning from LFY was so awkward. If they're able to stop the charge, the fight's done.
And there's no buybacks. So Complexity are going to try and force things, hoping that the buybacks are going to be used, but they're going to quickly find that they could just take the tier 3.
The gyrocopters left alone to defend this. They do have Epicenter on the side of Apu. They want to try to slow this down.
Maybe Complexity is a little bit too low. You're going to see the damage coming out. Chessie is going to receive the life drain from Mook. Gets up on that one. He's got the Aghanim Scepter, though can heal him again. A little bit of damage onto Apu, make sure he can't blink in. Force Staff out. Complexity are going to be able to get the tier 3. But now the question is, can they fully get out?
I am such a fool. I doubted Complexity. At the same time, LFY got really cocky there.
Yeah, they did.
Like, Super's positioning, if they replay that fight, he was so far north that the rest of his team couldn't possibly get to him. You gotta at least give your team a chance to be able to save you. In the past, it was the multiple force staffs after the charge. This time around, it was so sloppy. They felt like the game was already in their hands.
And all of a sudden, Complexity, they're looking at a lot of potential items. We go over this team fight replay again. You see Kyle has Super stuck inside the trees. I don't think he realized he was the one charged. I thought he was going to be he thought, I'm going to be the sneaky guy who's sitting in the trees and they're not going to notice me and I'm going to get a lot of damage out. But it's actually quite the opposite, that he's the first one isolated.
Unbelievable. They have like one chance at that where Kyle has to get the charge on the Super. That's their only stun.
So now, upcoming items, Limp's got his Shiva's complete. Lifestealer almost has the AC, so double armor items are going to make a huge difference in their survivability against not just the sniper, but even Monet's physical damage that was becoming a problem as he's looking to complete his Scotty. And then Moo, who's been focused so many times in these team fights, the Sankey immediately tries to jump him, but if they can actually get a BKB, the Pugna has a lot more turnaround potential. So many times the Assassinate is what finishes him off, but if he can have the BKB, turn around and life drain, things could get really sticky really fast for LFY.
Yeah, now suddenly LFY are the team that are stuck inside their base. They don't feel so comfortable taking these engagements anymore.
Yeah.
They do have the Ravage available, but
he really wants that Shiva's. Again, both teams are just thinking about the same items. Both teams are about being able to have some sort of kiting mechanism. So they get a Force Staff, Razor picks up a Force Staff. They get Shivas, they're going to have Shivas as well.
Once Gyro gets the Scotty, the team fight continues to amp up for LFY. The Lifestealer's net worth is still so far below where he needs to be right now.
Yeah, that really will be the big difference. Oh, same goes for the Lincolns on the Super, because then he won't have to worry about that form of initiation.
Yes, that is going to be massive for them. He is saving for the buyback right now because he realizes it's still possible for them to lose this game. LFY suddenly kind of on the back foot here as Complexity are still a little bit behind, but with every shrine, every tower, they start to close the gap a little bit.
LFY going to fight this one? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, they're going to give this one up.
Like they were going to go for that shrine defense, but perhaps they bled just a little bit too much. Bit fearful of fighting Complexity.
Yeah, and Super doesn't actually save for the buyback. He goes for the Lincolns instead. I think he realizes, guys, if they can't charge me, I can't die.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't charge him, you can't get near him. And the other play would be to try Nether Strike on top of them. That's not going to work either.
Or Static Link, like all of these options for complexity. It's
Open
a really
wound slowdown as well.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult for them. You need a Blink Dagger on Chessie. That'd be the only way that I can see them getting in this position. Or Super has to get really far out of position again. Like, if his team is near them, it's a lot easier.
Kind of feels like Razor's just going to have to barrel through LFY with his BKB Shivas.
Yeah, he's going to have to pop it with the Force Staff and then allow coL to come in with the charge. And hopefully coL doesn't get stunned. It's like a crazy set of events that needs to happen for them to be able to kill Super. They've got to be really coordinated.
LFY, all 5 fingers turning into the tight fist, holding around this sniper. They're going to go for the 5-man smoke up, see if they can get the team fight that allows them to take Roshan.
Even finding a haste right now on Monet. And they're trying to fight around this Roche timing. I believe this is just the cheese, no refresher shard quite yet. And they're looking right now. But complexity, they're going back. They sense that something is afoot. Nobody's shoving in any more lanes. When 5 heroes disappear on the map like that, it should send warning signals to your head.
Yeah. Z-Freak solo popping the Shrine just to make sure that he's fight ready. He's actually got a lot of items right now. Force Staff, Ultimate Orb, and Veil of Discord.
They're going to go for the smoke of their own. They're pinging right now towards the Razor. Both teams are going to find this Arcane Rune at bottom.
So LFY, they've been smoked for a while. Finally, they do see a hero they can initiate on, but at the same time, Complexity is the position to be able to back them. They are going to go for this Razor. Try and blow him up as quickly as possible. Complexity, they need to be able to interfere, but they're just not doing it fast enough. Even the Ravage managed to clip Moo as he ran himself in.
He's
now
gone.
he's going to be the second victim. A bait that turns into Complexity just getting gobbled up.
Yeah, and Limp thought he was being clever. He tries going from the low ground to high, trying to connect to the rest of his team. They commit so much for him, but it's well worth it. What looked like it was just going to be a bait, LFY. I don't think he expected to get bursted down that quickly.
No, certainly not. He thought, I'm going to be able to get off my BKB. He actually had his Shivas in his backpack at the time. I'm not sure how much of a difference that really would have made, because Moo also, like, part of it I think is that they thought they were going to be able to just life drain the Razor as soon as he BKBs up.
Yes, but LFY now in such a good position. If you thought killing Super once was difficult, you had to have some like crazy mechanics involved in that. Well, now you've got to do it twice.
Monet with his Scotty is going to make it all the harder for you. On the front lines of the BKB Cheese and the Eye of Scotty. Chessie forced into an early rage off that homing missile.
Goes for the open wounds, but
what's it going to do? Who actually gets the initiation? And they aggressively force that coL into the middle of LFY. A beautiful setup and Complexity. Just as soon as the Pugnon Razor are about to come back up, now they are still a man down in coL for 75 seconds.
And they're going to be comfortable with this. They exchange their pinging towards the Shrine at the same time. They realize Complexity. They don't have a lot of plays anymore. They're pinging towards bottom lane right now. They don't want to get split push.
Those Scotty shots.
Yeah. Razor, by the way, I think did have the Shivas in his inventory.
Oh, did he?
He just swapped it out after he died.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty common to do that.
Trying to finish up that Hurricane Pike
So
for
many
them
items
so
now.
he can have a little bit of extra. Yule Scepter for Sand King.
He's trying. Was he trying to go for the Spirit Vessel? A really sick item against Pugna and Razor. Everyone's so tanky now on the side of LFY. And the third Roshan doesn't even favor Complexity. Like I guess if the Razor had an Aghanims, it might be a little bit better. But if they even got the Refresher Shard, I don't know if there's anybody that takes it that's insanely happy about it. I guess double AA Blast, but even that is contingent on being able to set up fights. Whereas for LFY, they just continue to scale. The Refresher Shard on the Tidehunter would be insane. He's already building one of his own.
Ice Blast heads down to bottom lane.
Dire's bottom
Similar situation where LFY are currently trying to bait out Tidehunter, and if nothing snatches, then they're going to just go for that extra Shrine, a little bit more gold into their pockets. They've almost got a Butterfly now for the Gyrocopter, so the Razor and Lifestealer are going to have a hard time focusing him down as well. The problems just keep on mounting up for Complexity.
Power's going to go down so quickly. LFY, with everything up, I think you just keep going for it. All your lanes are in a really good position. They're pinging out Chessie. They see him right now. They know that he's too far away to do this, and they're just going to breach high ground.
He jumps into coL. coL is hoping for a good opportunity for a charge in. LFY to back out, though.
They're playing so carefully right now.
Yeah, they are.
They don't want another situation like a top, but I think the likelihood of that is greatly reduced by the Aegis.
Yeah. Well, they don't want another situation like their series against Newbie, where they ended up throwing that series.
Yeah. It's a lot harder this game, though. The core matchups are very positive for them right now. The sniper is real strong. Has an MKB completed now, too.
They need, like, late game talents that really help out for either side. I just saw the 100 attack speed picked up by the Razor.
The 25 CDR for the Tidehunter on top of his refresh orb that he's pretty much got completed. Gonna be really valuable. Yeah. If they choose to wait for the third Roshan, it's probably theirs. It's kind of a win-win situation for LFY if they think they can win the fight. You go for the Aegis and the refresher shard. If you get it, great. If Complexity come out to fight you, then you think you can win the fight anyways, and that'll end the game.
Spirit Vessel picked up for Witch Doctor, as you said, really good against the life drain of the Pugna. And our Witch Doctor has 7 charges left over from the Urn of Shadows, so he's got a lot to play around with.
Oh, they finally fixed that?
Yeah.
coL, by the way, has 800 HP talent. That'll be pretty big.
If he can get there. Currently level 20 right now. Did go for the 400 charge speed. You can understand why their charge is their best form of initiation right now.
Yeah, refresher, though, completed by the Tidehunter.
There's the level 25 for him as well.
Everyone just continues to get more and more stacked.
Yeah. Seems like an insurmountable advantage is being built by LFY, carefully building until it will take a near miracle for Complexity just to be able to defend against this next push that is coming in. LFY going to start it out now. They've got the refresher. They're going to push, help the creeps push into that range racks a little bit. Back out again.
So the good news for Complexity is that even though they are behind, like the longer the game goes, there are more opportunities for slip-ups on the side of LFY.
Yeah.
You do have to rely on them to make another mistake like they did up at top. It's more unlikely now because of the Lincolns, but it just changes the target that they have to go for. Now they have to go for Monet instead of the sniper.
They almost have Scythe on Z-Freak. They are going to go for a 5-man smoke out. They're going to try and hit LFY from the side here. But if you notice, Fu, he's going to be in position. If these fast enough reactions, he's not going to be caught by this smoke. He is the early detail. Oh, look at him. They're wrapping all the way around here, hoping to be able to get behind LFY. But there goes the Ravage. Immediately stops off momentum. He popped out. Oh, the double stun, triple stun. They completely demolish Complexity. They have no hope of defending the base now. Looks like a Razor is going to be able to bring down the sniper, but he's stuck on a cliff. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Limp is going to end up going down here. Buyback from 1. That is going to be Ancient Apparition. Moo. He's trying to run himself back, but the homing missile is rapidly catching up to him. They are going to be doing their final buyback here. That's going to be the Razor. Limp. He tries to turn, seeing if he can catch up to Monet. Force that forward. Hoping he will to drain his damage, but he does not have a whole lot to work with here. But no BKB, easily disabled by LFY. They extract themselves away from Complexity's base, knowing that if they've just forced the buybacks from Complexity, that is good enough. Again, playing it patient, LFY trying to build as many advantages before going straight for the throw.
Yeah, with all those buybacks expended, they know all it takes is one more tip forward, but Super, once again, gets completely isolated out in this fight, not with the rest of his team.
Look at that setup, man. He popped out. Chessie popped out as soon as the Ravages hit. And he's stunned up as well, which leads to the 2-man Burrow Strike, which leads him to the follow-up Ravage. Those 3 heroes controlled for a good, like, 7 seconds. They were all dead.
Yeah, no one's surviving that.
They just hoped, it looks like they just hoped that Limp was going to cause so much chaos that they could actually initiate from the side. But LFY, they definitely saw that coming. right? They actually positioned themselves. They started backing up saying, hey, there's nobody inside their base. They have to be wrapping around on us.
When that tower gets hit for free and no one's defending it, that's just a telltale sign as Complexity.
Oh, Complexity out of position here. Kyle's going to be caught, tries to go for the charge out. Whoa, look at him go. They may have gotten the nullifier on him. They are going to be able to catch him. Afu gets him with the Yule Scepter. Follow-up Burrow Strike. Complexity daring to help Kyle here, but they have to run him away.
That would be a mistake. Now they grab another kill. And with 30 seconds left on Roche, I think you can wait it out. Inflame.
Oh, LFY keeps pushing forward. They have a Ravage up. They're thinking about it.
Yeah. And in 20 seconds, they'll have 2 available to them. And if they wait another 20 seconds, they'll have 3.
Jesse starts out with a blink back. The Scotty is going to slow down. Seriously, they need to be able to help him out. They need a defense take. He goes ahead, jumps inside Limb, he's the Uber to get LFY. Prevent them from being able to bring down that lifesteal. They get a little more damage onto Inflame. Pokes and prods, but again, LFY, they've made very rigid plans to be able to make sure that they don't throw this game. And it looks like they're not going to keep to getting that extra Roshan here. They are going to try and poke at the high ground a little bit more while the Spirit Breaker's down.
Double ulti available. It's very hard for them to kill Inflame. He realizes that, pops the pipe. They can just hit this tower from afar. They're daring Complexity to try to take this fight right now.
And there's a jump in from Afu. The homing missile is going to come in. They force out the homing missile to be able to get the combo shot with the Ravage as well. The Complexity up and down, bouncing around, and they are all dead. LFY end this game with a crescendo that befits a push forward into the lower bracket final. Fantastic performance by LFY, doing everything they can to make sure there is absolutely no question who was the better team here in this series.
In close games like that, it's going to be the discipline and experience that really pushes you forward. And it just felt like LFY had that both in spades. There are times where you could see LFY, they were a little bit rattled, but they composed themselves, got themselves back together, and Complexity went the other way with it. It felt like every successful kill that LFY got